This is my first devlog and here is the current state of prototype. And here how it is started. As a backend developer trying to learn Unity on my free time, I will be working on creating necessary tooling for AI first workflow and will be publishing weekly devlogs for auditing and reviewing. First thing I did was checking MCP server on codecs. Then using these steps and MCP via codecs. The first part wasn't really about polishing the game. I started by setting up MCP around Unity, getting the server and configuration working, and testing whether agents could reliably interact with the project instead of just guessing. Once that was working, I moved into basic gameplay systems like random monster spawning and simple feedback, and started creating skills so agents had a more consistent way to interact with Unity instead of trying random approaches every time. I added a combo system, level progression, XP and a second weapon unlock. But that also exposed the obvious problem. The game wasn't actually fun yet. You could build up a huge combo, but eventually just die without much meaningful decision making. This is also where bugs started showing up. Some enemies behaved like they were being reused or destroyed incorrectly, which made me suspect object pooling issues. Instead of over-optimizing, I just increased the pools and made reuse more aggressive, since this prototype is nowhere near performance limits yet. A big part of this video isn't just the game. I also started building workflow around it. I wanted to continue development across machines, reuse configurations, and experiment with different agents for UI, UX, assets, and audio. The main issue was that agents didn't consistently use MCP correctly. Sometimes they ignored available tools, sometimes they failed to call them properly, and sometimes I had to interrupt too much. So instead of retrying manually every time, I started turning repeated failures into reusable skills and rules. Around this point, I also switched to Unity's official MCP package instead of CoPlay, since I prefer building on official tooling when possible. While experimenting, I even tried Gemma 4 via LM Studio. My goal there being dispatching Gemma 4 for some smaller tasks instead of trying Cloud or Codex for saving tokens. Using custom skills for self-audit from agents, I was able to update other custom skills. One important realization was that my project structure was slowing everything down. My assembly definitions weren't agent-friendly, so agents were wasting time trying to understand boundaries instead of actually doing useful work. That pushed me to create a separate skill for handling assembly definitions and make the overall structure more predictable. After that, agents started applying UI and asset changes more reliably. The results were still basic, but each failure gave me something concrete to improve. In future, after refining my own custom skills, I will be sharing them too. Then I moved into level up offers. The agents could generate decent UI ideas, but struggled to implement them correctly inside Unity. The first version of the level up cards was basically unreadable, but it helped to clarify what the system actually needed. While researching, I came across Bestie's Unity Skills Repository. It uses skills on top of REST-based MCP setup, similar to CoPlay, to guide agents more reliably. That gave me the idea to port that approach to the official Unity MCP, without the REST layer. So I started working on my own version based on that. I'm still not sure if this is the right direction, but I'll see how it holds up over time. I will share my version of the repo in the description. After that, I tested the setup with Cloud. It could do useful things like generating UI, working with assets, and taking structured steps. After adding the Unity MCP skill, it was even able to see the UI from the camera, which it couldn't do before. But it still had the same core issue. Unless the instructions were explicit, it sometimes ignored the available skills. So I added stricter rules and also fixed smaller workflow issues like clipboard handling and missing integration, because those small interruptions slow everything down when you are working with agents. So this is where things ended up. This is more of a prototype and a workflow experiment. It added spawning, progression, level up cards, assets, and a more structured Unity MCP setup. But the main limitation right now isn't the agent. It is that I don't yet understand Unity deeply enough to structure the project in a way the agent can consistently build on. So even though I understand the general rules, I can't fully apply them yet in this context. Next, I will focus on improving gameplay, refining the level up system, and continuing to improve the agent workflow. I will adjust how I work as I learn what actually helps. Thanks for watching.